Hey, welcome to Get to Know Me. And I'm here with Ashley. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
So my first question for you: if you could hire someone to help you right now, what would it be to help you with? Cleaning, cooking, or yard work?
Cooking. Definitely cooking. I never have the time for cooking. It's something that I wish I could do more of, especially when it comes to healthy eating. I am not the healthiest eater. So it'd be nice if I could have someone cook for me, cook all of my meals.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
My proudest accomplishment. These are really great questions and make you think. So I would say my proudest accomplishment would have to be working at the White House during the Obama administration. I think
Okay.
that was a really big deal to be a part of history in that way. And so I had the opportunity to basically follow Obama, right, and his family and Michelle Obama to different events, riding in their motorcade and basically collecting audio for publications and radio stations all across the nation. So it was a big deal to cover these events. And so for me, I guess I would say that's one of my proudest accomplishments.
How long did you do that for?
Just for a couple of years. So it wasn't extremely long, but a couple of years, yeah.
Okay. What song would you sing at karaoke night?
What song would I sing? So I love karaoke. I am not a singer, so I absolutely enjoy karaoke, especially when there are like non-singers in attendance. But if there was a song that I would sing during karaoke, it would probably be an Usher song. I was always a huge Usher fan growing up, and I know
Okay.
like every lyric to his songs back in the day. So if I had to sing a song, it would probably be Superstar from his Confessions album. I absolutely love Superstar, and I would go in. I would sound a mess, but I would go in on that song.
Okay. What's the longest you've gone without sleeping? Why?
Without sleep.
Yep.
Okay. The longest I went without sleep probably would be a day and a half to 2 days. And it's a pretty silly story, but I was studying abroad and I was in London. My friend and I decided we were going to go to Amsterdam and we were going to stay up all day. We weren't going to get a hotel. We were going to bus it from London to Amsterdam and we were going to make a trip out of this. So the bus trip was about 14 to 18 hours long. The trip was so uncomfortable you couldn't even sleep. So we get to Amsterdam and of course we don't have a hotel, right? So we're just exploring, having a good time. I'm fighting, trying to, I want to get sleep, but I'm fighting to keep myself awake. We're meeting folks, we're exploring, doing a bunch of things. And of course, in a city like Amsterdam, things close early.
Yes.
And so we find a McDonald's that's like 24/7 that we like stake out at, and we're able to like meet people and communicate and talk, just have a good time until the morning comes and we're able to get back on our bus. But yeah, I would have to say between the bus trip there, the bus trip back, and staying in Amsterdam, I was up for probably like a day or 2 days or something crazy. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
If you can only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One meal.
One meal.
Ooh, that's hard. So it'd have to do with something seafood. I'm from Maryland and I love me some seafood. So I would say, I could do this. So salmon stuffed with crab meat with a side of mashed potatoes and asparagus and
Okay.
maybe some fries. I think I could do that for the rest of my life.
Water fries.
Okay, so I fries were for some reason growing up were my favorite thing to eat, and so I still throw them in there from time to time. Yeah,
What's your favorite type of fry?
my favorite type of fry. Great question. So I'll go based off of fast food since that's a little easier. I my favorite fry would have to be it's a cross between Chick-fil-A, their waffle fry,
Okay.
and I would say Wendy's. Wendy's, when they make their fries perfectly, nothing compares to that.
I never had them.
No?
No.
What? Where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, but I don't really like fries. I don't really like greasy foods like that.
Got you, smart man.
What makes you laugh the most?
What makes me laugh the most? Myself. When I do silly things or embarrass myself, I would have to say at times I can be a bit clumsy, and I don't know. It can be embarrassing, right? You just trip over your own feet. You're walking through the mall. And I know when I was like, for example, in college, I used to wear Crocs. And for some reason, I would just trip over my own feet and didn't understand why that was even a thing. So, you just learn to laugh at yourself. So I think some of the dumb things I do are quite laughable.
Who would you want to play you in a movie about your life?
Oh my gosh. That would be interesting. A movie about my life. Who would I want to play me? I don't know. That's a great question. Shoot, thinking of actresses. Let's see. I would have to say maybe Yara, or what's that girl's name? Shoot. Logan Louise. She was in Dear White People. I think she'd be great.
What's one thing you'll never do again?
One thing I'll never do again. Wow, there's a list. So one thing I will never do again, I'll say when it comes to traveling, okay, so I did this thing, it was a couple years ago, where I took this spontaneous trip overseas. It was like this Europe, Middle Eastern trip for about 14 days. I did not finish booking my trip by the time I was over there. I was still booking stuff from day to day, which was okay. But I think what I won't do again is book traveling from country to country so close together, because I almost missed my flight coming back to the States. I was like leaving some part of Italy to fly to France, to then fly to Russia and then the US. And it's like, if I missed one of those flights, I would have just been SOL. And so I almost missed my flight from France to Russia, and that was the main flight. And so I would have been stranded in France for a couple of weeks. And so that's something I will never do again, is just, I have to be careful of when it comes to booking trips and making sure I leave enough space for error.
What's your favorite place you've traveled to?
My favorite place, I'd have to say Morocco. Is the first solo trip I took. That was about now 5 years ago, so 2016. And I had been studying Arabic in undergrad. I attended Morgan State University. And so my instructor was from Morocco, and he always spoke about the country, obviously. And it's like, I have to get there. I have to go. And so I finally went and had the time of my life. I met the most amazing people, and I'm still friends with them today. And I learned how to surf there. So it's an experience that I will never forget.
Okay. Who was your favorite author?
I'm sorry?
Your favorite author?
My favorite author. That's a great question. I don't have a favorite author, but I would have to say my favorite book is the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley.
Okay.
Because I am a huge Malcolm X fan. And so, yeah, that would have to do it.
So what's the last book you read then?
The last book I read? So I'm actually reading that new Malcolm X book. Yeah.
Well, how's that going?
It's going. I have to get into it a little more. I've been extremely busy. I'm a journalist, so I've been like covering everything that's been happening this week in DC, which has been completely outrageous for any of you who have been paying attention to the headlines. But so yeah, it's like I've had to pause on that for a second, but hopefully I can pick it back up this weekend.
Okay. What 3 things would you take with you to a deserted island?
What 3 things I'd want on a deserted island?
That you would take with you.
Oh, that I would take with me. Okay. I would take my dog, because I love him so much. He's a German Shepherd, the love of my life. So I'd take him. I would take my Bible. I'm a Christian. And this is hard. So does this deserted island it doesn't have Wi-Fi?
No.
So it's like, maybe I can take my laptop. Oh man. Okay. This is rough. I don't know. What's that last thing that I would take with me? And there's no service, right? So I can't call anyone. I can't take a cell phone. Maybe a boat. Let's get a boat so that I can travel and get off this deserted island. I'm sure that's not a great answer, but that's all I have right now.
Then my final question for you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Wow, it's 2021. That would be 2026. In 5 years, I'm hoping that I will be a practicing attorney while hosting my own show on a major network, discussing the issues affecting the Black community, other minority communities, and just making other people aware of the issues that are real and have been real for a very long time now. So.
Okay. Well, anything you want to promote, anything you have coming up, your social media and all that?
No, just follow me on Instagram. I stay on Instagram. You can follow me at Ashlee M. Banks. So I am an executive producer for Roland Martin. I'm also a daily contributor for Essence Magazine. And I have a couple of interesting interviews coming up that I will be publishing on my Instagram shortly.
Okay. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you for doing the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
No problem.